Hello guys, how are you doing? My name is Scholastica Havesa and thank you so much for joining. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. And today I would like us to study about some patterns in the Bible of how God blessed people in the Bible, of how God make the things of people to prosper in the Bible. So my question today is, what do you have, or what do I have that Lord can multiply, that our God can bless it so that it may become prosperous as we want, as we wish? And I will use the examples in the Old Testament and in the New Testament to show how God blessed the works of people. And the first example comes from the book of Exodus, chapter 4, from verse 1. It's the story of Moses and the miraculous power. So I'll read. Then Moses answered the Lord, "But suppose the Israelites do not believe me and will not listen to what I say. What shall I do if they say that you did not appear to me?" So the Lord asked him, "What are you holding?" Then Moses said, "A stick." And God used that stick to give Moses the miracles. He told Moses to throw down that stick and it became a snake. So God used something that Moses was holding to perform that miracle. Yes, I'll go to another example. Our second example is a story of, it was Prophet Elisha and a poor widow, of how God multiplied something small that she had. So I'll read this example. It's in the book of 2 Kings from chapter 4, and it says, "The widow of a member of a group of prophets went to Elisha and said, 'Sir, my husband has died. As you know, he was a God-fearing man, but now a man he owed money to has come to take away my 2 sons as slaves in payment for my husband's debt. What shall I do for you?' he asked. 'Tell me, what have you got at home?' 'Nothing at all, except a small jar of olive oil,' she answered. And then from that story, Elisha prophesied on that small jar of olive oil, and he told her to go and borrow other jerry cans to fill the olive oil. And then that woman got a lot of oil and she sold it, and she was able to pay the debts that she had. That's how the story goes. You can read for yourself 2 Kings from chapter 4, unaendelea tu hivyo until the story ends. And our third example, or our third pattern of how God blessed people, it was this in the book of Ezekiel chapter 37. Ezekiel chapter 37, it's the valley of dry bones. "I felt the powerful presence of the Lord, and his spirit took me and set me down in a valley where the ground was covered with bones. He led me all round the valley, and I could see that there was very many bones, and they were very dry. He said to me, 'Mortal man, can this bone come back to life?' I replied, 'Sovereign Lord, only you can answer that.' He said, 'Prophesy to the bones. Tell these dry bones to listen to the word of the Lord. Tell them that I, the sovereign Lord, am saying to them, I am going to put breath into you and bring you back to life. I will give you sinews and muscles and cover you with skin. I'll put the breath into you and bring you back to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord.' And exactly the Lord did that. He made a very huge army from dry bones in the story of Ezekiel. Ezekiel was only seeing the dry bones, but God brought back life. He brought back the life of those bones, and it became a very huge army. Another example, and our final example, it's in the New Testament, in the book of Matthew. It's in the book, let me confirm. It's in the book of Matthew, chapter 14, from verse 13 to 21. Matthew chapter 14, from verse 13 to 21. But I'll start from verse 15. That's what I'm interested on today. That evening his disciples came to him and said, It's already very late, and this is a lonely place. Send the people away and let them go to the villages to buy food for themselves. They don't have to leave, answered Jesus. You yourselves give them something to eat. All we have here are 5 loaves and 2 fish, they replied. And I'm very happy with the response of these disciples. They didn't say we do not have anything to fill. They replied that they only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, meaning that they believe in the power of God. They believe in the power of Jesus, that he could feed the people with those 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, and he did that exactly. So what do I mean by my topic today? By asking you, what do you have? What do I have? It means that whatever, something small that you are doing, that is what God can use. That is something that God can bless supernaturally, and it will grow and it will become big and it will give you the life that you want. That small business that you are working on, that small company that you are working from, that is something that God can use to give you what you want. It's something that God can bless it. And when we pray, we always ask God to bless the work of our hands. We ask God to bless the work of our hands. And I pray that whenever you pray, whenever you go to that business, whenever you go to that company, if you are an employee, you should always pray to God to bless the work of your hands. It's exactly something small that you are holding, that is what God will bless, and it will give you the profits that you want. It will give you the life that you want. Yes, we should never say that we have nothing in the eyes of God. We should always pray for, we should always thank God for the small things that we have, and then we should do our best and ask God to bless it supernaturally. I'm talking this because most of us are graduates, and whenever somebody graduates, our parents always have hope. We all have very big dreams. We're hoping that maybe we'll find a good job, we'll be highly paid, we will do business and they will succeed. But sometimes things do not go as we plan. Saa zingine your parents wengine, when they entered campus, the parents walikuwa na hope sana about them, but unapata wamegraduate, they do not have that job. Unapata wamegraduate, but the job that they have, it's not even paying. They have the dreams for maybe educating their young ones. They have the dreams of building houses for their parents and living the life that they want. But in real life, you find that maybe things do not go as you planned. Maybe hesabu tu haziingiani. Unapata sometimes hesabu haziingiani as you had planned. Uko tu na hizo project, uko tu na projects kwa kichwa, but you have not actualized it. And it's true that while even worldly, we are experiencing economic issues. Tuko tu na shida ya pesa. It's not hata Kenya peke yake. The economy in most of the countries ilikuwa affected by COVID-19, ilikuwa affected by so many things, and most of us, we are unable, maybe we have not reached wherever we are. So today I want to give us a challenge that we should not just sit back and wait for the miracles. We should not sit back and wait just for winning jackpots and doing what. We should start by working with our hands. We should start small. Able start that small business that is in your head and ask God to bless it supernaturally. I believe that God can bless that biashara kidogo that you have. He can bless it. You can build houses from that biashara. You can be able to educate your young ones from your biashara. You can be able to live your dream from that small biashara that you have. What I discourage today, or what I just want to tell somebody not to do, is just to sit back and wait for that job opportunity that you do not know even when it's coming. Just start doing something and ask the Lord. And the Lord said that you ask and it shall be given to you. Just ask God to bless the work of your hands. Ask God to bless that work that you are doing that is not paying well. Ask God to bless that business that you are having, and He will do so. Imagine you'll be able to do all the things that you wanted to do from that small thing that you are doing. So tusikae tu hivi tukingoja miracles, tukingoja kuwin jackpots about nini, SportPesa nini. No, you should be doing something. Anza tu kidogo. When God wants to bless you something, when God asks you, what do you have? Just say, I have 1 chicken. Then from that 1 chicken, you can be able to multiply it. He's sovereign God, and we'll know that he is a sovereign God, and we'll have a testimony one day that he has blessed the work of your hands. So my word today was just to encourage somebody, not just to sit back and relax and wait for a job opportunity. No, sometimes life does not go as we plan, and you should not sit back. Just focus to do something, at least to do something with your hands, and ask God to bless it. You know, sometimes what people graduate, after graduating, they think they'll get this good job. They think that they'll be able to live their life in the next 3 or 5 years, but sometimes that's not the case. The world is so different, and you should not be depressed because things are not going as you planned. You should never be depressed. By the way, depression is a tool used by Satan to oppress you. Depression is a tool used by Satan to prevent you from living a purposeful life, to prevent you from even reaching your dreams. Usiweshikwa na depression about what? About money, about things are not going the way you wanted. Just work with the little that you have, and our sovereign Lord, sema yeye mwenyewe, he's a sovereign Lord. You will know that he's sovereign Lord, and you will one day tell a testimony from whatever little that you have. So if you're a graduate here, you do not have a job, just work on that small thing that you're working on, that is able to bring the food on the table. And also, when you find employment opportunities, apply for them. Do not throw away your certificates, just keep them, and the sovereign God will show you truly that he is God. So today, mine was just to encourage somebody never to give up in this life, and the Lord has promised us that he will give us anything that we ask. So if we ask him to bless the work of our hands, he will exactly do that. Thank you so much for listening to me. I do not have much details today. It was just a word of encouragement. Asante sana. Thank you for those who have subscribed and who have watched. Thank you sana. And those who are new here, kindly subscribe and also comment and like and share to encourage somebody. Thank you so